And this is the importance of detail. Even though you may not notice it consciously, it is working in your mind subconsciously. So this is why we get this feeling sometimes watching a film, and afterwards we know it's good, but we don't exactly know why. Welcome to Shot by Shot, where I analyse every shot of an entire movie. Now, it's scene 8 of the original Star Wars, exploring what it was like for viewers in 1977. The droids have been captured by the Jawas and are about to meet the core character of the film, Luke Skywalker. We start off with the Sandcrawler going over these dunes in an establishing shot. This shot is rich with atmosphere, with this rusty tank moving along this vast and dusty desert. It then cuts to a close-up of R2 with no lights on and completely still, a bit strange. Then we have C-3PO jolting up.
Wake up! Wake up!
And it's telling R2 to wake up and smacking it, so the film adds even more human elements to these droids by their ability to sleep. At this point they aren't much different from humans at all.
Wake up!
And we have R2's lights coming on, showing that he's woken up. So we have all these little details so far making us sympathetic towards these droids, as they behave just like us. And 3PO swings around, directing our attention to the center of the frame. And we see these doors opening up. We know that something is going to happen. The action will move forward. It doesn't keep these droids stuck inside the Sandcrawler for too long.
We're doomed.
So 3PO here is demonstrating its fear and makes the audience anticipate what's coming next. Now this line is a bit of a rhyme from the opening scenes, as 3PO has said this exact quote before.
We're doomed.
Rhyming is a key theme in this saga. It gives the sense that everything is connected. There's lots of movement. The Jawas are about to do something, building anticipation within the audience. And then this Jawa starts pointing around, making the audience wonder what is going to happen.
Do you think they'll melt us down?
So 3PO is very consistent with its character shown so far. It's expecting the worst. And we have R2 beeping back as well. It's becoming this constant quirk throughout the film, this sort of constant sort of beeping and talking with 3PO. And then we have a shot of 3PO turning to match it with the next shot, so that there isn't a jump cut. And I know we see the Jawa coming up, and you can see the 3PO sort of moving around, a little bit scared but not wanting to cause a fuss. There's a lot of pointing and swinging around going on. You know, something bad might happen here.
Don't shoot, don't shoot.
So here we see 3PO's intelligence on display, smartly trying to calm the situation with the surrender pose and saying don't shoot. So even though 3PO is a flawed character, it does have some strengths.
Will this never end?
And we can see just here that in 3PO's hands, there's even a bit of detail here with the wires. The art designers could have not bothered with it, but it really helps immersion in the shot, like even with it just a few frames.
Never end.
And this line shows that 3PO really wants to get out of this situation, and we sympathise with it because we would hate to be kidnapped as well. It's also an ironic line because, as we know, this is just the beginning of 3PO's adventures. And then we've got this dynamic long shot of the Jawas going out. Seeing them all move around really makes the world feel alive. And it's like, oh, the droids are being brought out. It's slowly being revealed to us. And you got this weird looking droid with all its prongs and little hooded creatures running in front of the camera. It's very fantastical, but there's still all this rust and dirt, continuing that strong, grounded aesthetic. Another strange design droid. Like, there's a lot of creativity going on here. And these towers in the back, which appear frequently during these desert scenes, it really seals the deal in terms of immersing you in this world, that this isn't just some random desert, but a new planet. And we got R2 rolling along. Now we're getting a sense that a lot of the droids are being escorted out for some reason. And 3PO's wandering around like the audience that's confused on what's going on. Now we got this beautiful shot here capturing this location brilliantly. You've got the Sandcrawler on the left with the Jawas and the droids, and this new curious location with this dome and crater. This one shot alone captures the rich atmosphere of this planet. They're running about faster now, showing that they're in a hurry. The anticipation grows as they prepare these droids. Now these Jawas are dancing, like these characters are wild, like there's no predicting what they'll do next. And we have this fantastic extreme long shot here. I'm showing this one Jawa coming up to these two new figures that are coming out of the dome. And they look quite different to the Jawas, showcasing again this fantastic set design, seamlessly blending in with the desert. Yeah. Even these Jawas on the right are curious what's going on here. It is revealed that they are human beings, and they seem quite civil. It shows that there is still some order on this planet, and they seem friendly with the Jawas. The humans' costumes blend seamlessly in the aesthetic with these browns and whites. And the Jawa points towards the crawler. So it's interesting finding out how these creatures and humans relate.
Yeah, all right, fine, let's go.
So this line reveals that these humans have a neutral relationship with the Jawas and will go on board on what they're planning. I mean, it's the middle of nowhere, like this is probably the most interesting thing to happen to them in months. Now this is a really good sequence of shots here as the character of Luke is revealed. Now notice how the camera zooms into Luke before the cut. It shows that he's becoming the focus. And notice how it's suddenly just Luke. It's just like that Luke is revealed to be an important character in the scene. And he runs with a hop, skip and a jump, a very healthy young man. And we've got this shot of Luke looking over the crater, making the audience anticipate the next shot to reveal what's below.
Uncle, if he gets a translator, be sure it speaks Bocce.
Then, wow, isn't that imaginative? There's this sort of homestead at the bottom of this crater with this gorgeous set design, mixing these sci-fi themes with these rabbit hole-looking rooms. And it's adorned with flowers, like even on this derelict and wild planet, there is still life and beauty. And we see already that Luke has these sort of mother and father type figures. And with this line, the audience now get a sense of why the droids are being brought outside. They're being sold. And the use of the word bocce, another world-building detail to sort of ponder on with these new languages.
Doesn't look like we have much of a choice, but I'll remind him.
So we're getting this sense of a family dynamic with all of them talking friendly to each other. We're sort of seeing some humanity on this desolate planet. And notice how quickly he says this line, already turning around before he finishes. This keeps the pace nice and sharp.
Doesn't look like we have much of a choice, but I'll remind him.
And we can see how weird this pit is. It looks derelict on the surface, but we know it's beautiful underneath. I believe this is a recurring theme throughout this film and the saga as a whole, not judging on outside appearances. And we've got these Jawas making giggly noises while running away. It shows their childish but shy nature. I mean, this camera angle is so great that they had to use it twice. I mean, we really get a sense of this derelict place the family is living in. And we can see Luke is right. There really isn't much of a choice in terms of droids. It's interesting how nonchalant Luke's family is about this droid slavery, considering how these droids have many human features. Also, we can assume this is Luke's uncle, as he was mentioned by the female character before. Which makes you think, where is the rest of Luke's family?
I suppose you're programmed for etiquette and protocol.
So it's interesting how the uncle is well aware of 3PO's make. Even in the middle of this desert, this family is knowledgeable about the galaxy.
Protocol? Why, it's my primary function, sir. I am well versed in all the customs.
So it's a bit mysterious. What the heck is protocol?
I have no need for a protocol droid.
So now he's shown his disinterest and is turning away, but...
Of course you haven't, sir. Not in an environment such as this.
So 3PO is trying to be sold. It's trying to find any way it can to be free from these Jawas. It wants to be bought by this family. And we can see R2 twisting its head, showing that he's going to want a piece of that pie too.
A droid who understands the binary language of moisture evaporators.
The what now? So 3PO has successfully pulled him back in. It gives you hope that 3PO can escape the Sandcrawler. And you can sense the uncle is not taking anyone's crap. He just wants a droid that can do the job.
Evaporators? Sir, my first job was programming binary load lifters, very similar to your evaporators in most respects.
This is great for 3PO. He's got a hook. The audience have no idea what they're talking about, but we're glad that 3PO's got a good chance.
Can you speak Bocce?
So this is another chance for 3PO to seal the deal, but can he do it?
Of course I can, sir. It's like a second language to me.
So 3PO's nailed it. The hope in the audience is rising up.
All right, shut up. I'll take this.
Shutting up.
So this line is sort of a double whammy where it's like, yay, 3PO did it, but the uncle is still sick of the droid. Now, I only noticed this when doing my analysis, but 3PO says, shutting up, sir, on top of the uncle's line. It's great subtle comedy. Most films would give it a whole moment, but it's just nicely weaved in here.
Second language to me.
All right, shut up. I'll take this.
Shutting up, sir.
And the Jawa waves its hand, showing that it's made the deal and is selling the droid.
Luke!
And these Jawas go hee and run away. It's like their weird way of celebrating. They are very zany creatures indeed.
Take these two over to the garage, will you? I want them cleaned up before dinner.
So it looks like Luke is getting a chore, so it's very relatable to kids and teenagers.
I want them cleaned up before dinner.
But I was going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.
So we have this sort of teenagery angst here with Luke. You can sense it in the tone of his voice. And we can tell he's late in his teenage years or even young adult, so we can already sense his frustration of being ordered by his parents at this age.
You can waste time with your friends when your chores are done.
So it's almost mean words here by the uncle, saying that his friends are a waste of time. It's especially painful words considering that they are in the middle of a desert and wouldn't see many people. So Luke here is forced to stay home and miss this fun opportunity. Very frustrating, especially for his age. And it's something that all ages can relate to. We don't like to be ordered about too much, and we don't like to miss out on opportunities.
You can waste time with your friends when your chores are done. Now, come on, get to it.
And his uncle reinforces this command. Like, where is Luke's father in all this? Shouldn't he be making the calls instead?
All right, come on.
And you can sense through the facial expressions, his sigh and his line, that Luke is very frustrated here. However, he is respectful because he still follows his uncle's instructions. Then we have R2 here moaning and making the audience think, oh no, he's going to be left behind and split with 3PO again.
And the red one. Come on. Well, come on, Red. Let's go.
So you can sense the tension in Luke's voice. He does not want to be doing this right now. And as the audience, we're like, why did you select that one over R2? And we know by this point that R2 is very capable, and this red one is being a bit slow as well. And off it goes. And in this shot we think, oh, if only he picked R2 instead. Oh, and poor Droid as he waggles about. This shows he really doesn't want to be split again and trapped in a Sandcrawler. And R2 lets out this cry and 3PO turns around, sort of like a parent dropping off a child at kindergarten for the first time. But this Jawa comes between them and cuts R2 off and points its device at this close-up, showing this as an intense moment. And R2 is paralyzed. It's really sad seeing these two droids forcibly separated like this. And the Jawa stomps along like R2's in trouble. And you feel bad for 3PO too as it turns away, because we know that if it says anything, it could lose its chance to escape. But it could also be that 3PO is giving up, which falls in line with how the character has been shown so far. Then R2 lets out a sigh, showing that almost all hope is lost. But then the droid blows up. This is interesting because this is sad for the red droid and Luke, but as the audience we're like, yes, this is another chance for R2-D2. Hope has been restored.
Uncle Owen!
And Luke's raising it to attention. And it's like, oh, right, as he's paying, this could prove a challenge, like just in time, this has happened. So we have these sort of, almost these themes of fate coming along here. It's like, almost like, you know, it was meant to happen that that red droid exploded at this right perfect moment, which is quite a common theme throughout the film.
Yeah?
And this Jawa sort of looks up like, oh crap, what's going on?
It's R2 unit has a bad motivator, look!
Smoke's coming out of it too, like, you know, chances are looking good for our blue friend.
Look!
Hey, what are you trying to push on us?
So this line shows that there is a danger of conflict. We know how cunning these Jawas are, so we don't want things to break out.
Push on us.
And R2 whistles and shuffles about, showing that the answer is right here.
Excuse me, sir, but that R2 unit is in prime condition. A real bargain.
3PO's coming out for R2 here, giving a convincing argument to Luke. And we're seeing more of 3PO's intelligence here. And Luke looks over with a thoughtful expression. We hope he makes the right choice as the audience.
Uncle Owen!
Yeah?
What about that one?
And R2-D2 turns towards Owen with almost a glimmer in its eye. It wants to be picked so bad.
What about that blue one? We'll take that one.
We've got this feeling of relief as an audience knowing that the droids will be reunited with this line. And you can see in the Jawa's gentle movements that it is okay with this deal. Nods and everything. So there's this rush of joy knowing that both 3PO and R2 will be in better hands. We know already that this family are decent people and will take good care of them.
Yeah, quite so.
And we see here there's more to the Jawas than just silliness and trickery. They're providing a quality service to Luke's family by quickly taking back the broken one. It's things like this that make the Jawas much deeper than cute creatures in other movies, especially other children's movies.
So very pleased with that one, sir.
So notice how in the shot again you have these overlying lines of Take It Away and 3PO's line. It not only keeps the pace sharp, but also adds more realism to the dialogue when they're sort of talking over each other.
He really is in first-class condition. I've worked with him before.
And you can see 3PO's trying to convince Luke, even though they've already made their decision. And Luke is getting a bit annoyed here by 3PO as he raises his hand up. This is showing that one of 3PO's flaws is that it can talk a bit too much.
Here he comes.
And as R2 comes over, we can see the Jawas packing up. It's a small detail as R2 draws the focus in this shot. We don't really notice it on most viewings, but it makes the world feel more realistic. And this is the importance of detail. that even though you may not notice it consciously, it is working in your mind subconsciously. So this is why we get this feeling sometimes watching a film, and afterwards we know it's good, but we don't exactly know why. And it's because the film has so many little things like this working in your mind as you experience it.
Okay, let's go.
Again, you can hear the mood in Luke's voice. He really doesn't want to do this chore at all, and he doesn't care that he's got these shiny new droids.
Now, don't you forget this. Why I should stick my neck out for you is quite beyond my capacity.
Now, this is a very... the irony is strong with this one, considering that R2 saved 3PO from the opening battle. But in R2 fashion, he doesn't care and just rolls along. So we're having... These characters have been very consistent in their personalities from the first scene till now, where 3PO is this sort of scared, smart droid, while R2 is this stable but sort of a bit rebellious. And it fades away like the wipes. It's a bit of an unusual way of ending the scene. Similarly, it's to sort of create a smooth transition to the next scene, like with the wipes. So there's scene 8. It's quite a long one. So at this point, the audience knows that Luke will be a key character going forward, as there was a lot of focus on him in this scene, as well as him obtaining these 2 droids that have been key to the plot so far. So join me in scene 9, where Luke discovers the truth about these droids and their relationship to Leia.